So you've heard that Stockholm is a beautiful city and you want to see it for yourself. The problem is that it's winter right now. What is there to do in Stockholm in winter? Between November and March you can rent ice skates and enjoy some ice skating in Kungsträdgården. This is fun for the whole family, and if you can't skate, it's even more fun for everyone, since they'll point and laugh at you as you fall on your ass. This place is especially popular at the end of December, when it's cold and dark outside, and the Christmas lights illuminate the whole area. It's cold and miserable, but the music and the lights actually makes it quite cozy despite the freezing temperature. So yeah, skating in Kungsträdgården is a pretty cool thing to do, pun intended, and it's in a very central location. But there are more winter sports to partake in the city. In the east part of Stockholm you find Hammarbybacken, a mostly man-made ski slope where you can rent skis or snowboard and practice your downhill skills. Back in 1919 there was a ski jump here, but it's been removed since then. However, in 1990 downhill skiing opened instead. This hill stands 93.5 meters tall, so it's not exactly comparable to the Alps or even to the north of Sweden. But this place has one big advantage. You can get here in less than 30 minutes from the city center. Stockholm isn't exactly famous for its winter sports, but at least you can do a little bit of skiing here. There's a red slope as well as a blue and a green slope for beginners. This place is good for a fun day out if you're tired of all the museums and you want to do something a little bit more active instead. Stockholm is a very nice city to look at, but you don't just want to see it from street level. Head to Södermalm and check out the Viewpoint at Monteliusvägen. The view from up here is spectacular on a clear day, and I love seeing the cracking ice down by the water. If it's frozen over, that is, which it obviously isn't today. It's still pretty cold though. If you want to see even more nice views, you can climb up the nearby Skinnarviksberget as well. The name means the Skinnarvik mountain, but it's not really much of a mountain, so don't be put off by the name. In summer, it's a great place for a picnic, but maybe you want to skip that on a cold and windy day like this. Speaking of freezing, if you're a certifiable maniac, you might want to try something a little bit strange. Or well, strange for you, but maybe not all that strange for Swedes. What do you say about taking an icy plunge in freezing water, followed by warming up in a sauna? I'm not gonna show you any pictures of that though, because traditionally you do it naked. At Hellasgården, around 40 minutes from the city by bus, you can rent a sauna and take a plunge in the icy waters right outside the sauna. The good thing about doing it out there instead of, for example, here, is that even if the waters have completely frozen over, Hellasgården hacks away the ice, so you can still jump in. Go for it! It's a bit of an insane adventure, but it's really fun as well. At least if you happen to have a bit of a masochistic tendency. Vaxholm is a very accessible island in the archipelago. In the summer it's a popular tourist destination with good restaurants and a famous fort. In winter it's not as popular. Unless you happen to want to do some winter kayaking, that is. I have to admit that winter kayaking isn't really my cup of tea. I love tropical weather and hot summers, but I guess that some people might find it appealing. It gives you the opportunity to see the waters around Vaxholm without all the tourists around, and from a very unusual point of view. Just pray that you get a bright and sunny winter's day, and not a sky full of murky grey clouds like over there. Personally, I'll stick to kayaking in summer, but to each their own. Stockholm is a beautiful city in summer, but there's a fair bit of beauty here in winter as well. And the easiest way to experience that beauty is to visit one of the many parks in the city. This is the Rålambshovsparken, and it's one of the most popular parks in Stockholm. It also happens to be the one closest to where I live, so I didn't have to go very far to get here. I'm not saying that I'm lazy, but I'm not saying that I'm not. There are many other parks in Stockholm. The Vasaparken, Humlegården, Tantolunden and lots more. And let's not forget about the absolutely gorgeous nature on Royal Djurgården. It would have been even better if everything here was covered in snow right now, but the weather is fickle in Sweden. The winters are cold, but you can't even trust that you're gonna get a proper snowy one. I love getting feedback on my videos, so please feel free to leave a comment. Or even better, join the 3-star Vagabond Facebook group, so you can discuss current and upcoming content with me and some other slightly weird people. There's nothing more Swedish than fika, except possibly depression, and passive-aggressive notes left for your neighbor. Fika is a very Swedish concept, and it's much more than just having a cup of coffee. It's a state of mind, an attitude. It's basically a cultural institution. Winter is the perfect time to enjoy a proper Swedish fika. You need a hot drink to warm up after the cold, and you deserve a treat after walking all around the city. At least that's what I'm telling myself. This lovely treat is called a Semla, and you might have a hard time finding one unless you happen to be here in February or March. There's a special day every year called Semmeldagen, and that's the official day when you get to eat semla. It's basically illegal all the other days. Well, maybe not illegal, but it's a little bit frowned upon. I could probably tell you a lot more about the history of the semla, but I'll save that for a separate video. It's really fascinating though. For example, the Swedish King Adolf Fredrik died in 1771 from eating semla. There are many spas in Stockholm in a wide range of styles and costs, and that's a good way to warm up on a cold winter's day. This is Centralbadet, the central bath, smack in the middle of Stockholm city. It's a pretty expensive place, but it's extremely cozy, with lots of jacuzzis and swimming pools and saunas. If you want to go to a spa with your significant other, this is a good option, cause males and females can share saunas at this place, so you can get hot and sweaty together. There are other spas as well in the city, for example the Nest or Semla City Spa. Or you can book a room with a private jacuzzi at Sparadiset, Sparadise. Or if you really want to splurge, you can go to Yasuragi, a Japanese-styled spa in the eastern part of Stockholm. Granted, you can get a weekend in Berlin for the same price as one night at Yasuragi, but it's still a wonderful place. You can't really talk about Stockholm without talking about the Stockholm archipelago. In summer, the islands are tightly packed with tourists and natives alike trying to get away from the city. In winter, not so much. There's still regular boat traffic out to the archipelago though, and you can find hotels on many of the islands, even off-season, even in freezing winter time. It won't be the same experience as in summer, but it's still well worth a trip out to the islands, regardless if you do it as a day trip or if you decide to stay a night or two. You can go to Vaxholm or even further out to Sandhamn. Out there you can do some pretty odd activities, like ride a hovercraft or go on a seal safari. And the trip out there is pretty magical as well. The archipelago is gorgeous, regardless of season. For my final tip about what to do in Stockholm in winter, it's to visit the town during Christmas. If you visit in December, there's a lot of Christmassy things to see and do. Christmas lights are typically put up in the beginning of December, and you can also marvel at the Christmas display outside of the NK shopping center. Each year they have a different theme with lots of animatronics and weird and wonderful things to look at. This is something that every kid, and every grown-up as well, looks forward to in Stockholm every year. You also have Christmas markets to check out. A popular market is in Old Town, Gamla Stan. It's pretty small and cramped, but you can find some great souvenirs. And you can also drink hot mulled wine, or a glögg as it's called in Swedish. Skansen also has a famous Christmas market, aside from all the normal, amazing things to look at. Skansen is a combination of an open-air museum and a zoo, filled with handicraft and lovely old houses to look at. If you want something a little bit more exciting, the amusement park Gröna Lund has started doing something called Winter Wonderland. I haven't been there yet myself, it actually opened this year, but I love Gröna Lund in general, so I have to recommend it either way. All of these activities are available in December, so I recommend that you visit in the weeks leading up to Christmas, but you might not want to celebrate Christmas itself here. The city is almost completely empty of people during Christmas, cause everyone is at home watching Donald Duck on TV and eating Christmas food. Also, keep in mind that Christmas Eve is the day of celebration in Sweden, not Christmas Day. I made a special video all about Christmas traditions in Sweden, so feel free to check out that one for a lot more weird and possibly interesting info. And there you have it, that was my list of the top 10 things to do in Stockholm in winter. I hope you found it useful. Like and subscribe, but most importantly, have a great day. Now check out some more of my videos, like this one for example. You will like it, I guarantee it. Or, well, no, I don't guarantee it of course, but I hope you'll like it.